T.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. Good to have you with us. It's a beautiful day, especially for those tuning in wherever you're at. Let us know. We, of course, appreciate your stories and the things that you want to share. Sometimes you guys come up with things that we don't even know about, and then we kind of go look at it and we go, all right, let's see. What do we think about it? What do we feel is going on, right? So if you are visiting us for the very first time, remember you have multiple options. For those of you tuning in on the radio, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to download our app. It is free. We were looking at some of our numbers and wondering where our listeners were at, and a lot of you are tuning in on our app. We appreciate you. Some of you are tuning in on the radio. We appreciate that as well. And then others are tuning in on Facebook. We appreciate you. Twitter, of course, I think is going to get an overhaul at some point with the huge amount of money that Elon actually put into it, which, I'm glad they accepted the money. At first, I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I was like, okay, I kind of get it, and I kind of understand, because Twitter has always had a problem financially with making money. How do they make money? How do they stay afloat? How do they keep, honestly, in business, right? And I know, because I've invested in Twitter a bit, meaning I've used their ads to be able to promote certain things of like content that we've had here on the show, including a few promotions of other people that actually were promoting their film and want to get the information out, get stuff out. So I've used their ads, for them for a few times, not a lot, but I will say, I feel he's doing the right thing by wanting to make it private. That's why he said, hey, if I buy, I'm going to make it private. Because if you have a public entity like that, then basically everybody can have at it, right? So if you make it private, then you could kind of make it better. And I hope, because, again, they have video on there. They have like a maximum of, I think, 2 minutes and 20-some seconds of like a video. Like if we have a video, we can upload that amount. Now, if you're a certain, like, I will say like affiliate of like a brand person or something like that, I forget how they put it, then you can kind of go next level and do 10 minutes, but we use still their Periscope app, which they said they were going to undo it, but we still stream on there as well. So that's why I say we're on Twitter as well. So if you want to tweet out your handle and let us know where you're tuning in from, you could do that as well, but we'll retweet you. We've been on Twitter for some time, ever since they had Periscope TV, but then they said, okay, we're going to get rid of Periscope TV, and that was sad, because a lot of people were on Periscope TV, and Periscope TV was one of those like early adopters of video. If you've ever been on there or watched it, I liked their app because you could like send hearts, and they had a really active community, especially for some people. So I kind of felt bad whenever they do that. It's like it kind of dries up, and that's also how you would build your Twitter account, right? By having people retweet and be live and stream live. But we kind of do a stream out to all platforms that have video as much as possible. We even have an account on Twitch, but we're on LinkedIn and on YouTube. But my suggestion, or my feeling on this, I should say, is that you go ahead and get back your Twitter account, because I think it'll be better than when MySpace was taken over all of a sudden by certain investors, which really did nothing with it. They made it all music. They completely changed it. I hope they keep Twitter as it is, because it's honestly a very quick way of communication. And I think, if anything, Twitter will always be a thing if privatized, because if it's public, then that's a bad thing. The fact that countries will ban it sometimes is a good thing. I know there were some things that are kind of overturned for the people, because people were like, hey, we want to make it right. We want to get the information out there, right? So we want to have good information out there. We don't want people kind of telling our story for us. We're going to tell our own story. And then other journalists and other news media people would actually kind of research the information, use those Twitter handles or those information. That's why kind of everybody kind of goes to Twitter as like a quick little blast out. Not just to the people following them, but, other things as well. Now, I will say this as well. You got to make sure your Twitter is on lockdown, man, because a tweet that could be used to get you, like when you were 18 and now you're 28, is still there. Sometimes that happens, and again, there's a lot of stuff that happened with that. So go up and, clean up your account if you can. I know I've tweeted things, or I've had things tweeted on purpose behind the scenes using, like software, which actually helped build your Twitter account, right? And some people go, why would you do that? It's because you can't be on Twitter all the time. I remember having people go, yeah, what are you doing on at 3 a.m.? I go, oh, that's not me. That's the software. It like tweets out quotes and stuff to keep it kind of busy because you never know. Twitter is a 24/7 thing, right? And when you're connected with people all around the world, I know I've discovered people. Shoot, we're gonna have a musician on next week, which she had me on her program when she was on the radio, and she had a podcast. I think it was like a few years ago, and we follow each other. And she's a great musician. She has a new video out. I can't wait for you guys to check it out. In fact, you could follow her now actually if you're on Facebook. I'm sorry. Well, is she on Facebook as well? She's probably on Facebook, but she's on Twitter. And she's great. Go check out her latest. Go support Maria Rubia is what she goes by. I retweeted her video once, so go to mine. She's at Maria Happy Chick CHIC1. We'll have her on the show. We're gonna have an interview, and then we're gonna stream it live here on the show sometime next week. So excited about that. But met her online. She discovered us online, and so a lot of people discover us online. We've been interviewed by Scotland, people in there, Europe, Edinburgh, and other places as well, just by being discovered on Twitter. So I've always said keep your Twitter account alive, and I know a lot of people kind of don't. They kind of just like abandon it, and I say, hey, get it back because it's a great way of communication, and it's a great way of getting up-to-the-minute news. Now, I will say this, it's so quick and fast if you're following a lot of people, you can't see everything, right? But it's kind of been more defined like for news and for items and hashtags. So I think if anything, maybe hopefully he'll bring back the video in a good way. And hopefully he'll bring up some other things that they've been wanting to do for quite some time. But his money, I think, will go to good use with Twitter because they really have been struggling to stay afloat, so to speak, to be able to pay the bills and then pay the employees and then keep it kind of, up and running. So I feel it's a good thing. I think it's good for communication. It's kind of like, Jesse, you like a lot of like sci-fi movies, right?
That's what I prefer, but I enjoy all genres.
But like, imagine like 100 years into the future, like you and I are no longer here, right? And somebody looks at the Twitter, like sphere, and they kind of go back to tweets of now. What would they see us tweet? You know what I mean? Or what would they just see people tweet all together at any given time? Like, it's like a little capsule to our future selves. Does that make sense?
I got it. You got it. Yeah, don't be me. Don't post racist stuff. And also don't post when you're angry.
I wasn't even thinking that, but yes, you're actually right. You're right. And that's what the kids need to find out and understand. And I say to people that kind of hold people to things that they posted 8 years ago or 12 years ago or 10 years ago, don't do that. It's dumb because, we've all kind of grown. We've all kind of like found new friends. I know some people held some people to certain stuff that they'd say like 8 to 12 years ago, but I always say this, and people go, well, doesn't that say something about someone? I go, yeah, it does, but did they learn from that moment? I have a lot of ideas that I had as a kid that I've changed over the years due to my experience, right? And so sometimes it gives you a glimpse into the person's mentality, but sometimes people go, I'm not that person anymore. And I know there's been actors that have been called out, lost parts like that. Because somebody pulled a tweet from way back when, you know what I mean? Or I remember one time I was, because I follow back a lot of people. If you look at my Twitter, you'll see me following back basically everyone. Anyone that follows me, I follow you back as much as possible. And so somebody's like, why are you following this girl? And the girl, I'm not going to lie, is, I shouldn't say it, but anyway. Everybody has their own thing, right? But I follow back everyone. I don't always watch who I follow back. And some I've had to be like, yeah, because, they kind of tweet out some, information. I'm like, yeah, no. But my point is this. People could judge you just for who you follow, right? And I do follow back a lot of people. I unfollow a lot of people too. But there you go. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you have Twitter, get your Twitter handle back and then work on it. And get your name if you can first, right? If you have to use your middle initial, use your middle initial. I know, Jesse, you used I am, because that is kind of like a broad one. I always recommend to people, always make sure all of your handles match. That way, when somebody says, what are you? You're not like, well, I'm, Krispy Kreme 1, right? On one handle, and I'm Winchell's on the other, and I'm, Apple Fritter new body. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, it's pretty much do not choose an obscene handle because you never know when you're going to be using it later down the line.
yeah, exactly. And you want them all to match because it's like when people say, "Well, how do I follow you?" You're like, so I just say Aaron M. Sanchez on all platforms, then they can find me. So it's as simple as that. But there you go. Mark Blevins tuning in on social media. Patricia Sommer, thank you. Mark says, good morning with a cup of coffee. Love that. Cynthia Salas is tuning in. Good morning, Cynthia. Good to have you with us. Patricia Sommer says, it will be interesting to see how it goes. Cynthia says, Facebook does that with memories that they remind users of. Yeah, and I do like that because it kind of reminds you like, oh, wow, that's right. What did you do like 8 years ago? Or what did you do 6 years ago? I now reposted something that happened 6 years ago, and it reminded me. I like that sometimes when it's annually because it's like, oh, that event's coming up, just so you know. Yeah, so I was like, oh, that event's coming up. So, and that one that I posted recently on my Facebook, for those of you following me on my Facebook account, I posted on my profile. Profile is different than a page. They've been updating pages, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm beginning to be like, with Facebook again because when I bring up their pages, it's not as, I don't know what they do, but it's never consistent as of late. So I'm like, and then sometimes like they let 3 people watch when in reality they used to watch, or they used to let everybody, that subscribe to your page watch. You know what I mean? But it's very, very, very selective. So sign up on the notifications if you're discovering us or if you want to continue to follow us, and that way you kind of stay connected with us. All right. Jesse, you got some news over there. What's going on?
Oh yeah, no, I was just reading this article about something called CinemaCon. Have you heard about that?
No.
Yeah, no, it's a place. I guess I'm assuming it's some convention or something where they release movies. I don't know, but whatever. So apparently Sony announced a few movies yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yes. So apparently they're making a sequel for the Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Sweet.
And apparently they are expanding the Sony Spider-Man universe.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So they announced that they're going to make a standalone film called El Muerto. El Muerto. Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea who Bad Bunny is, but I have no idea. I feel bad for not knowing him.
Bad Bunny is a guy?
Okay, thank God I'm not the only one. Yes.
Okay. I didn't know. I mean, no judgment. Bad Bunny.
Apparently, Bad Bunny is a Grammy Award-winning artist. Millions of people follow him. I don't know who this person is, so I don't know. Okay. But it'll be interesting because the story sounds pretty cool. It's about a luchador who has like a mask that gives him like special powers, like increased strength and speed and stuff.
Got it. Okay. Oh, Bad Bunny. Yeah. Okay. The guy looks cool, right? He actually was in the movie, which I actually did kind of want to see, just to see because it's more anime-ish for those that actually follow anime. I do recommend that you find like not the ones that kind of like all over the place because some people don't like that. But the ones that actually like, are kind of okay. I'll give you an example. I watched recently. A good one is Appleseed. If you haven't seen Appleseed, go watch it. It's a good kind of futuristic anime. It came out in 2017. Then others have like Akira, which I still gotta see. Ghost in the Shell, right? With what?
What did you just say?
Akira.
You've never seen it?
No, I've always wanted to see it.
Okay, I'm gonna walk out now. Bye.
What? Oh my God, that's sad. Oh no, I've always wanted to see it. I haven't yet. Like nobody has it to rent. Otherwise, I'd watch it. It's not on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that is true. It is difficult to watch. It is a great movie. That was one of the first anime movies I've ever watched. I've seen it so many times. It's amazing.
Yeah. I know. I guarantee it's great because I remember the art. I love the art because I used to, love to draw. So I always look at the art. But back to what we're looking at. So that's Brad Pitt on the left, which we all know, right? So he's doing the fight scene, and it's very anime-ish. I think it's based on anime actually. And on the right, that's the bunny guy, Bad Bunny. So there you go.
Did you call him the bunny guy? That's hilarious.
Well, what else are we gonna go? But
apparently in a show called Narcos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. I want to see what he can do.
Bullet Train. That's the one. That's the one that Brad Pitt's in.
Okay.
Yeah. So and it includes, of course, it includes Sandra Bullock. Ugh. All right. So anyway, let's see. There's a lot of people out there. We appreciate you. We do have some news here. Speaking of cinema, Jesse, about somebody who happens to be Barbie. Her initials M.R. If you can guess that, we're going to talk about that next here on The Morning Show. Stay tuned.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second day ground, next day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
It's the Rockefellers Music Festival, May 21st and 22nd at the Dysart Equestrian Center in Banning, with headliners Pat Travers, Boom Boom, Out Go Light, the Zappa Band, Crazy Town, Come My Lady, Come My Lady, and Cottonmouth King. Plus, more than 21 rock bands playing tributes to Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne, Leonard Skinner, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, and more. RV camping, food, vendors, and a great time for all. Let's go live outside at the Rockefellers Music Festival. Tickets at rockefellers.live.
The staff and families at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform, standing tall for our political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Hi everyone, Dave Levine here. The Dave Levine Show is back on the air, 10 to 11 a.m. Wednesday mornings on KMET 1490. Join me for an hour of Law & Order stories and commentary. Law & Order is now the #1 issue for Californians. If you miss it live, you can hear or watch it 24/7 on either SoundCloud or live stream. See you there. Thank you. Can't you see?
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. A lot of things happening, and we promised you a story. We gave you a little tease. If you're joining us on the app and you're seeing our visuals again, somebody's in the news for making it as a Barbie. Yeah, that's right. As part of CinemaCon held in Las Vegas this week, Warner Brothers Pictures shared a first look image of the actress in the role of the iconic Mattel doll, along with a release date for the film. Barbie, directed by Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig, will be released on July 21st, 2023, according to a tweet from the studio. An accompanying image in the social media post showed Suicide Squad star Robbie rocking a retro 60s vibe, dressed in a blue and white polka-dotted headband and matching striped halter top. Jesse, I see you already having questions.
I have so many questions. One, are you serious? Two, yeah, what's this movie going to be about? And three, who's going to be Ken?
You got the jealous thing going on already, Jesse. I've never seen that in you.
Yeah, I know. It's what it is. Who's gonna be Ken? That's what I want to know.
I get it, man. I get it. I don't want Ken to be in it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. I guess there's got to be something for the ladies. I hope it's like, I don't know, Barbie just being Barbie, right? I know. There's got to be a Ken story. You're right, actually, Jesse. You're right. There's gonna be a Ken. Oh, Margot, we just want you single for life. She looks like, right? She's just a fun girl. I think she'd be a fun girl just to hang around. You know what I mean? She smiled as she leaned forward in the pink Chevrolet Corvette convertible, posing in front of a pink faux stone backdrop. She wore a braided bracelet, had her blonde hair done in a straight style, evocative of the classic American doll. This is not me speaking. This is the article, just so you know. All right, I'm not saying all this about her. The movie will star Ryan Gosling as Ken. Jesse, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I can see him as Ken. I'm not gonna lie. I like Ryan Gosling ever since, what was it? I believe he was young Hercules back in the days. So good for him. That's
Yeah, see, there it is. There's that good for him moment. You're like, right, exactly. Issa Rae, Will Ferrell. Okay, that's gonna be fun. Kate McKinnon, Simu Liu, Michael Cera, and America Ferrera. Look, this is gonna be a fun show. I feel, and good for the kids, right? They'll probably do it very G-rated. I hope. Robbie told British Vogue last year, people generally hear Barbie and think, I know what that movie is going to be, and then they hear that Greta Gerwig is writing and directing it, and they're like, oh, well, maybe I don't. She added that the role comes with a lot of baggage, considering some historical controversy over the doll, and a lot of nostalgic connections, Robbie said, but with that come a lot of exciting ways to attack it. Previously, the role of Barbie was set to be played by, oh, man, I'm so glad she's not Barbie. I know people are going to hate me for this, but can you see Amy Schumer being Barbie?
Wait, Amy Schumer. Why does that name sound familiar? No.
No judgment, but no, I can't see her being Barbie. Just it doesn't make sense. But she had signed into the movie in December 2016. But by March 2017, she had exited the project, citing scheduling conflicts at the time. Oh, interesting. Good for us. Last month, though, she said that it was actually creative differences that led to her departure. Well, went to Margot, which I think is the right one for the job, right? Because Margot just has that fun. Like, when kids have Barbie, they want to have fun with Barbie, right? Barbie's like this, cute little, you know what I mean? Like, it's just good with kids. So that's, you never want an actress that's who, like, I hate kids, you know what I mean? I hate people, you know what I mean? Because you're like, dude, who are you? You know what I mean? So I think she exudes fun in that. And anybody that's seen Suicide Squad 1 and 2, especially 2, you kind of see the fun in Margot's character, right? And there's a part where she's like with this guy. Again, it's very, very, very adult, just so you know. But she's with the guy, and you know what I'm talking about, Jesse, where he's like, wanting to marry her and be with her. And then she finds out, like, he kills little kids, and she's like, oh, well, it was good when it lasted. Bye-bye. And it was like, yes, that's what you want to see. Take out a guy that harms the kids. But Margot, we're happy for you. Congratulations on all of that. I think, if anything, you're doing the right thing. She said they definitely didn't want to do it the way I wanted to do it, the only way I was interested in doing it. I'm sorry. That's what. Wait, who said that? Schumer recalled that the studio sent her a pair of Manolo Blahnik shoes to congratulate her on the casting news. That was Amy Schumer way back in the day. She said the idea that that's just what every woman just wants right there. I should have gone, you've got the wrong gal. After her departure, Anne Hathaway was attached to the role before Robbie took over. So evidently they went through some things. It's productions on the film is currently underway in the UK, but I can see Anne Hathaway play the brunette. I can't see her playing blonde. Margot's like obviously blonde. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no, not. Yeah, I can't see.
Actually, is she brunette, dyed blonde? I don't even know.
I don't even know. I don't want to judge anymore.
You're like, I'm gonna get shot by somebody. All right. Anyway, we appreciate each and every one of you. What do you guys feel in social media? Is she the right Barbie for the job? I think she exudes fun, and I think if anything, she's the Barbie gal of the Barbie world. So, all right, people, we're gonna take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after this. Stay tuned.
Does shame, guilt, and martyrdom play a part in holding ourselves back from self-love, self-confidence, self-empowerment? Ambika Waters is back. With over 3 million books sold, she offers her 28th, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. Her body of work includes training programs held in Europe and North America, where she connects her participants to the realms of angels, the importance of chakras, the healing power of color and sound. Ambika Waters, the journey that she has been on, the renowned teacher, artist, and healer, has brought a lifetime of experience to her newest book, Releasing Shame, Guilt, and Martyrdom. How to reframe the past, release your future. The guide to expanding our capacity for unlimited goodness. AmbikaWaters.com. Amazon.com. Love, love, love.
Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions is now Beaumont Pharmacy with a new location at the Sundance Corporate Center. That's at the corner of Highland Springs and 8th in Suite 110. Of course, they still have Pack Your Meds. No more counting out the pills, dropping them on the floor. Oh, what a mess. And they have a full selection of pharmaceutical CBD. Wheelchairs, over-the-counter meds, you name it, they've got it. So if you're looking for the best and you want the best to Beaumont Pharmacy at their new location, 835 North Highland Springs, Beaumont Avenue in Beaumont, California, Suite 110. Give them a call, 951-845-8252.
World-renowned psychologist, relationship expert, and best-selling author Dr. Carmen Hara hosts Live Now every Friday morning at 9 o'clock on Smart Talk Radio. Dr. Hara offers profound wisdom, practical advice, daily exercises, and empowering predictions, all for you. Experience your own positive transformation as Dr. Hara personally guides you to the answers that you have been seeking. Live Now with Dr. Carmen Hara every Friday morning at 9 o'clock Pacific Time on KMET Radio, podcast by SoundCloud.
New teen driver in the family? Just bought your first home? Have a new bundle of joy? Every life change matters, and by reviewing your insurance policy with Little & Sons Insurance Services, you could be benefiting with big savings. Little & Sons Insurance Services, a family-owned insurance agency who values the old-fashioned way of doing business. They work for you, not an insurance company, meaning your best interests are at heart. They can custom tailor your policy based on specific needs at a price you can afford. Home, auto, or business, you're covered. Call 1-844-9-LITTLE. That's 1-844-9-LITTLE, or go online to little, the letter N, sons.com. That's littlensons.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM, where we appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with us. Evidently, I was a little ahead on this in a bad way. It looks like Twitter and Musk are having some problems over there. It's beginning to be a little bit like, oh, great, what are we going to do? Here's the headline. Elon Musk already broke his agreement with Twitter. But it's not what you think, okay? They're still in play to buy Twitter. But there's this whole, like, how do I call it? When companies buy another company, there's a transaction that has to happen. It's called a contract, right? And the contract has a lot of things in it that say, okay, we're going to, give you all this for this amount with these, like, stipulations sometimes, right? Because Twitter wants to kind of keep Twitter, if that makes sense, right? So evidently, and I think people are going to, like, read this in a weird way, so I'm not really sure how to read this, I'm not going to lie. But, because I know everybody's kind of like, ooh, what's going to happen with Twitter? And then everybody's like, okay, we all know Elon kind of goes and just posts his thoughts loud and alive, right? But this is what I'm saying. This is why you got to go private, right, with a company like this. You can't be all public. It says he won't own it for many more months. He's locked into a contract with the social network's current management, and and see, that's the problem. He's dealing with the management of a company, which, by the way, a management company doesn't. How do I say it? You pay a management company to help you out with what you do. It's kind of like actors, okay? Actors and film producers and all anybody in any contractual business, you have them working for you, not the other way around, okay? So I kind of am not happy with the way this guy's going about it, because evidently I think he's one of the. I'm just going to read the article so I don't get in trouble. When Twitter agreed to sell itself to Elon Musk for $44 billion with a B On April 25, the two parties agreed to specific terms of the merger, signed a document, and filed it to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Because, again, it's a publicly held company. He doesn't yet own Twitter. He won't for many more months. He's locked into the contract. There's a $1 billion penalty if he pulls out. Okay? That's called, hey, we're putting all our ducks in a row. We're getting it ready for you. But if you back out, you still have to pay this amount. Everyone agree? The two sides agreed to certain rules of behavior for the period before the deal closes. One day after that agreement was reached, he, according to this, I don't know if it's true, because sometimes these can be brought up in a weird way, he broke the rules. So, did he break the rules? What rule did he break? Let's see. Musk's agreement with Twitter allows him to tweet about the merger, but in the contract, it says, so long as such tweets do not disparage Twitter or any of its representatives. All right. On April 26, he tweeted that what could be considered two separate disparaging comments about Twitter employees. Now, I can almost guarantee somebody said something behind the scenes, and he's like, are you kidding me? Are you going to get in the way of this? Because I can almost guarantee... All right, well, actually, let me read the rest of the article. After a news agency reported that Vijaya Gad, Twitter's top lawyer... Okay, I will tell you right now, lawyers are never good to get in the middle of a feud, okay? Especially when there was no feud. Lawyers are notorious for putting their own ideas and their own thoughts as though they own the company. You don't own the company. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. This is a problem with Twitter. Twitter has been unable to make money because sometimes, and I'm going to say this just in generality of businesses, sometimes businesses trust the wrong people to make the decisions for financial longevity. Okay? Now, if this guy has a stake in Twitter and he is like an investor, I see that. You don't want to do that. But I have been... I'll give you a perfect example, okay? And I have this friend. Hopefully we'll see him this week, okay? I had a film that I was helping a writer produce, okay? And he wanted to meet with some very, very well-known actors. And one of them, I'm not going to say the name, but he knew as a friend, right? But the attorney that he took, which I'm like, why are you taking an attorney? It's a simple, for those that don't know, in film, when you have, like, let's say, Jesse, I want you in my film, okay? And you're a personality because you're on the radio, right? And you're on, video, and you're all that. So you're basically your own person, right? And I say, okay, Jesse, I would love for you to be in my film. Can you sign this? First of all, it's a kind of a non-disclosure, right? Which means please don't tell anybody about my script because it's not made yet, and I don't want it in the wrong hands because, there's people that rip off scripts all the time, right? You understand that, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes complete sense.
Okay, the second form, which is very important, especially to investors, okay, and to people that are signed on to a show or a film or anything, is a letter of intent, okay, or an LOI, okay? So a letter of intent is a very brief document that says, hey, I read the script. I want, if available, to be able to be this role. In other words, I'd be like, all right, Jesse, I have this role. Would you sign this for me? And when we get the funds, it doesn't mean we have the funds. It's a letter of intent to do business. It doesn't mean you're locked in. Does that make sense? So He wanted somebody from Lord of the Rings to be in the film, okay? And he knew the actor. But he took the attorney, and the attorney had like this, I don't know, probably an 8-page document, which even the actor was like, that's a little much. All you need is a very simple 1-page paragraph that states who you are, you've read it. So, because here's the thing, what people don't understand. When you meet people in Hollywood and everybody's pitching a script or a film, they say, oh, so-and-so knows about this. Well, good, prove it to me. And that's what you want to, like, you investors don't want to put their money where somebody's not signed. Like, for example, let's say you say to a bunch of people in a room, I have a script and Margot agreed to this. Well, you may have had a conversation where she goes, I love your script, Jesse. I love it so much. Thank you for meeting me after, you had me on your show. And, I'm ready to do it. And you're like, yeah, I got her for my film, right? But you didn't get it in writing. Well, now it's kind of neither here nor there. You got to get it in writing. Now, letter of intent doesn't mean transactional amount. It just means I read it. I'm interested to play this part. But what sometimes happens with letter of intents in the film world is the person is unavailable because of a conflict of schedules. So usually investors need to know this. But if they see a letter of intent attached to a film, they know, oh, Margot Robbie may be in this film if they give you the money, right? And then when they give you the money, you want to make sure, can we secure your dates? That's when you want to jump on that, right? But my point in sharing this story is this. Attorneys get in the way, and sometimes they don't even know what they're doing. Some are entertainment attorneys. Entertainment attorneys more or less know what they're doing. But I think this attorney for this writer friend didn't know what he was doing, so the guy didn't sign off on it. Because he was like, are you kidding me? Like, a letter of intent is a very simple paragraph. That's it. That's all you need. And it just states, I read it, I'm interested in your film, and I would love to play that part. Now, would he have done that if the attorney wasn't there? Yeah, absolutely. You know, an attorney you need when you have transaction of funds, right? Kind of like this. But the attorney is not the decision maker. All right, so let me go back to the story. I hope you guys understand where I'm going with this, because I've had attorneys really mess up relationships when it comes to working relationships. So I'm like, why do you invest the time with an attorney? The attorney gets paid, and then they go away, right? That's all an attorney is good for. Right? And I hate to say it that way, but you want them to do their job. You don't want them to create a problem, right? And I know people are like, in marriages, they're like, yeah, the attorney actually made us break up, you know, because they wanted their funds. You know what I mean? And attorneys will do that, right? So back to this. It says Vijaya Gad, the top censorship advocate at Twitter, who famously gaslit the world on Joe Rogan's podcast and censored the Hunter Biden laptop story, is upset over the Elon Musk takeover. Oh, you got a vocal guy going, all right. His team, which is in charge of content moderation decisions at Twitter, blocked a link to an October New York Post article about a laptop belonging to Hunter Biden, son of soon-to-be U.S. President Joe Biden. That was back when. It temporarily locked the Post's account. Okay, I get that. They've done that to other people, including me. The laptop was eventually confirmed to be Biden's, and then Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey apologized, saying Twitter made a mistake. Okay, so that's the backstory, all right? On Tuesday, Musk jumped onto the fray, in essence, agreeing with Engetti's critique of Gad, which is another guy. His name is Sagar Engetti, and he tweeted something saying suspending the Twitter account of a major news organization for publishing a truthful story was obviously incredibly inappropriate. That's what he tweeted, all right? Now, Elon, okay, I get this now. So he responded. He says suspending the Twitter account of a major news organization for posting a truthful story was obviously incredibly inappropriate. That's what Elon said. So in other words, he was agreeing with this other news guy, I think. Or, yeah, about the way Twitter handled this story. Okay, so somebody brought it up. We get tweets all the time. Sometimes I respond, sometimes I don't, right? Hours later, Musk replied to a tweet by right-wing conspiracy theorist Mike Cernovich, alleging that Twitter lawyer Jim Baker, a former FBI general counsel, facilitated fraud. Then Musk replied, sounds pretty bad. Okay, he has an opinion. That's all it is. Okay, I see where this got out of hand. So you have to go back to the original. He didn't bring anybody under the fire. He just agreed with somebody that said something about Twitter. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, you can't disagree with anybody because you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Now, it says, let's see, his tweets led to a lawsuit from the SEC over what the regulator determined was a misleading tweet about securing funding to take Tesla private. And a consent decree, he agreed not to tweet about the company without a lawyer's approval. And that's the thing. There's a lot of, like, when you tweet something all of a sudden and you're a personality or you're a celebrity or somebody with a lot of following, all of a sudden it could be kind of taken out of hand, right? How many times have we heard Biden say something, then he kind of retracts and goes, well, what I meant was, and anything you say when you're that popular, it can be used against you, right? It could be taken out of context. You're like, no, but you didn't hear the backstory of the whole statement. You could be like, I hate you, and they take it out of context, but in the reality, it was like, I hate you for having that food without me. You know what I mean? Like, kind of a whole nother story, right? So at the end of the day, I think that's what happened here. And unfortunately, the guy that actually kind of says all this is Rafi Melkonian, who evidently, I don't know who this guy is. RM Fifth Circuit. He says Musk can also pull out of Twitter something naughty. So he basically posted the contract. I don't know. People are going all over the place. But I guess the point is he agreed with somebody on the outside about Twitter. And because he hasn't actually owned Twitter yet, he actually has every right to say something to somebody else about a opinion. It doesn't state fact. It's an opinion. So I would go with that. And then you're fine, Musk, because I don't understand why people that kind of like work for, somebody else kind of like become the company. They don't want the money to actually help out the company. They kind of stonewall the company in a bad way, and then the other employees are ones to suffer because they need money. You know what I mean? They need to be paid. They need to have security in what they do. Developers and people that create behind the scenes and keep moderation good, because sometimes there are some things that get out there, including pornography and other things that are like too violent for kids to see, because kids are on Twitter. So that's why I say to parents, be careful of having your kid on Twitter. There are privacy settings, but some get through those privacy settings. Because I've literally had Twitter up just showing people how it works, and then all of a sudden somebody retweets. I don't even follow the account, but they retweet a photo, and I'm like, oh god, that's embarrassing, right? And all of a sudden you're showing a room of 8 people, and you're like, I don't follow that person, but I don't know who I'm following. Sometimes I am following people, that tweet out stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but anyway. So, but there you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I say this, be careful who you do business with. Oh, back to actors and managers and agents. What do you want to say, Jesse?
No, I'm just listening to what you're saying and laughing inside.
Okay, because actors depend a little too much on agents, all right, to get them jobs. But I know of actors, because we're in Hollywood, obviously, and we've been at events, that actually have lost out in roles, including Underworld. You know the movie Underworld, Jesse?
Of course I do.
So I have a friend who was in the first one. I'm not going to say his name, because I don't like to do that. But he was in the first one, and he didn't get into the third one because his agent wanted too much for him. You know how when they come to the negotiation, they say, deal with my agent? That's a problem. You should always know what the agent does. Because I think the agent kind of was like, and some agents get this way because they need a little payday, or they're very pro you, but they're not balanced in, hey, some productions don't have the money to give you because you're not top billing actor, all right? You have to say, all right, I get what you guys want, but let's negotiate a little bit more. But I think they negotiated over what they could afford, and they said, yeah, we're going with someone else. Because if you have a certain set of funds, you can only pay a certain set amount of money, right? It's kind of like a company. And people don't think of films as companies, but they're like little companies set up, right? So you have a certain amount of money to work with. So you say, look, I'm going to pay you this amount. This is your role. But if your agent goes, no, he deserves more. All right, how much more? 8 million more. Well, all of a sudden it comes back because the actor's like, dude, I would have taken it for that amount of money. But what you don't understand is you pay the agent a certain percentage. Usually anywhere from 8 to 12% I recommend, but a lot take up to 20%. The going rate is 10%, but some reason they went up to 20. I don't know why. Managers are a whole other ballgame, but actors don't need managers unless you're a musician. So you just need an agent. So I say to actors, sometimes you are losing out on jobs if you're not very proactive on the job that you're getting pitched for. Now, some agents are the pitchers of you, and they get you out there. But at the end of the day, you should secure your job by knowing exactly how much money is on the table. Now, if you are the one to say, oh, I want $8 million, and then they don't want to give it, you should have a fallback plan to be like, I'll take whatever you want to give me. Because at the end of the day, it's an opportunity that you don't have. So that guy never got an Underworld. But did he want it? Yes. And he kind of felt, and it was recommended by my friend, I think your agent messed you up. So actors always should be aware what their agents are doing. But again, back to anyone and everyone. When you have an attorney or someone speak for you, like let's say you're in a divorce settlement, right? Or you're in the middle of a company dispute, right? Be aware of what that person's saying in your place. Now, if you can trust them 100% and you're there and you see what they do all the time, then you go, okay, I get you. You're for me. You're not against me. If they have a stake in it, meaning they need the money, they're going to push it out so far that they get the majority of the money of your estate or asset if you're in a divorce. So that's where I say to people, be very aware of who you're kind of having represent you. Be very knowledgeable about what they're doing along the way, and be ready for the recommendation, but be ready for your own common sense. Because sometimes your common sense kind of gets skewed, and then relationships that do eventually go back together. And I'm not going to lie, I feel like, and I could be wrong, Depp and Heard are going to get back together, Jesse. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I know there's a lot of drama at play, and people are going, what the hey? but I think those two are in a like tussle right now. And I've seen it when she looks at him. She has this regret look, you know, like you could tell she's been crying. And then he has this like, I really care about you. I'm sorry I got this far. But financials are at stake. You know, she said, he said his money was taken, her money, you know, was taken in a way, you know, back to respect and stuff. I don't know how it's going to sell to the rest of, you know, her career. I don't know. But we've seen stranger things happen, right? I mean, people are back together when they weren't together ever. I mean, look at Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, right? What happened to Jennifer Garner? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things going on, Jesse.
True, but did any of their significant others defecate in the bed? That's the big question, and that's a no.
All I can say is some guys like that. All right, people, I'm going to take a quick little break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
When you want the best performance for your vehicle, think only of Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, right off the I-10 and 60 freeways. Check out Scott's complete list of performance products on their website at hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers can recommend ways for your car or truck to get better gas mileage and cut down on emissions. Need your car or truck to pass smog only? Go to Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont. Find out all of your questions on vehicle performance by logging on to hdrinfo.com. Scott's Headers and Mufflers in Beaumont, hdrinfo.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Did you miss sending out a prior year tax return? The IRS is out to collect now more than ever, and they'll use any means necessary. They legally can and will garnish your wages, take your money, and even seize your property. If you're behind on your taxes, call the Tax Relief Hotline right now at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000. You can legally get your tax debt under control, and in many cases get the breathing room. Wages, property seizures, bank levies can stop immediately, but you have to call. Many of our specialists are IRS enrolled agents. They know the system and how to make it work for you. Don't wait for the IRS to come down on you. Act now so you can get your tax debt under control. Call the Riverside office today for free info at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000.
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At U-Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All U-Theory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with a mission to inspire wellness in all. Try U-Theory Immune Plus Daily Wellness. 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. U-Theory.
Welcome back, as it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. LA tuning in, Rosalie tuning in, we appreciate you. Everybody saying happy Wednesday. Vicky Silveri tuning in, we appreciate you as well. Lots of people, again, we know are all kind of following the Amber Heard trial. And Jesse, I think you got more information than I do, but can you share it?
Oh, yeah, there's this audio. There's so much. You'd probably just have to Google it and just watch the minimized version. But there was this one audio clip. I don't know who. So there's so many audio clips in this. Who in their right mind records themselves in conversations in everyday life? Like or like
I do.
Like you do? Oh my god.
Well, you know why? Because I tell stories. So I have my app, which is on. I talked about it, but I record my stories and then I get them, written, and I'm getting them published. But like, what do you mean? Let's talk about because some people do that in phone conversations. It's illegal to use in court. You have to notify the other person that they're being recorded if they're being recorded on a phone call. So you cannot use it technically in court, but you can use it as reference to prove that the person said something in order to make now I think about it. But there's so many ways to fake voices too nowadays. So I've had apps where I go, oh, you can fake a voice? That's terrible. But at the end of it, you can actually prove it to like somebody else. Like, no, this is what the person said. And sometimes couples do that in order to be like, I don't know how to explain it. I would use it to call out somebody. You said this, see, right there. I may not be able to use it in court, but you said it. So what do you want? But anyway, what are you saying, Jesse?
Yeah, no, because there was a clip where she was just talking to him, and she was like, "Who's gonna believe you, Johnny? You or me?" and stuff like that. Because let's be real, in any kind of domestic violence case, the vast majority of time, it's the woman, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, anytime a man says, you know what, a woman has been abusing me, whether physically or mentally, and it's just a lot of the times we just get, ignored, or we just be like, oh, it didn't really happen, or stuff remember when, let's see, who came out with it? When Terry Crews said that he was sexually assaulted. I wouldn't have believed that.
Oh, yeah, the big guy from, which I just saw, Expendables. Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
the muscle-bound guy who likes to dance.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like a lot of times, the guy isn't believed. It's almost automatically the woman that's being abused and stuff. But there are so many audio cases where she's all like, I didn't where she says she hit him and stuff like that. And let's be real. Okay, you know what? We all know Johnny does drugs, alcohol. But has he ever hit anybody or done anything in these past, 30-something years?
Yeah, I don't know the situation close enough to say. That's where I call, I don't know.
I know, this is all hearsay, but it's just bits. If you, go into the trial, look at all the clips and evidence, and then judge for yourself on who you think is correct. But let's be real, they're both guilty of so many things.
There you go. They're both guilty. They both got married, and they both are having to deal with the repercussions of that. That's what we're seeing kind of play out in court, and it's in Virginia. I'm surprised it's not in Hollywood. So there you go. All right, people, we're gonna take a huge break. We'll see you tomorrow, same place, same channel. Make it a good one. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well.